to do, and we will talk to you later. Bye, Clay. Colby, I feel so bad that like we didn't actually get to the show that you guys actually do together.
No, it's fine. I'm just glad he's gone, honestly.
Colby's like, good riddance.
It's been a little too much Clay for me today.
So Colby, tell me, how often does the Just Fantasy show come out? Like, are you guys doing?
Yeah, so right now we're coming out every Tuesday and every Friday. Okay. Right now, kind of the cadence of the show is we're doing positional rundowns. So on Tuesday, we'll do like, top 10 third baseman. And then Friday, we'll break down the players outside of the top 10, usually giving our sleeper picks, guys we're staying away from. We kind of run through almost every player. We try to at least. And like the whole like idea for the show was Clay and I are just kind of tired of like fantasy episodes that run like an hour and a half, right? Like we felt that you can break down a player in like 3 to 4 minutes, move on. So like most of our episodes are anywhere from, 25 to 35 minutes. We're pretty quick. We're just going to give you the analysis and move on.
Right.
So if you just want to know, like, what do they think of this player, come to us and we're going to give it to you. And then during the season, I don't know the exact cadence. We're going to be going through waiver wire picks. We're going to be doing, other analysis throughout the season. So not really sure on when episodes we'll be releasing during the season. But right now, Tuesday and Friday, you can catch us.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's on all of the normal-ish podcast things. YouTube, Apple, Spotify, all that fun stuff.
Yep, all that good stuff. I think not all the episodes are up on YouTube yet, and they should be by kind of the time this episode comes out. So okay. We're working on that.
Do you guys have a show Twitter at all, or is it just under the Just Baseball stuff?
We don't have a show Twitter. Clay and I are just kind of tweeting from our own Twitter, so just follow us from there, and you'll get kind of all the updates. But yeah, just really follow along with the show, and you should be set for your league. That's kind of the goal.
Definitely. I can definitely do, I will put all of the show notes information in the show notes. There we go. Words are hard, especially if you've had Bloody Mary. So, Colby, I know that you are a Red Sox fan, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Are you went to school in New York? Are you from New York? Do you go to?
I'm from Connecticut originally, and my story of how I'm a Red Sox fan is somewhat of an interesting one. So my parents were divorced when I was 3 years old, and so my stepdad was a Red Sox fan. My dad grew up in LA, was a Dodgers fan, but moved to Connecticut, and like, you're not going to be able to watch Dodgers games, right? On the East Coast, or like you're going to have to stay up way too late, right? So he kind of latched onto the Yankees, and this was in the 90s, right? So the Yankees were the best. They were a dynasty at that time. Derek Jeter was coming up. They had just an incredible team, Mariano. So my dad latched onto the Yankees, but it was very complicated because from ages like 4 to age 8, I considered myself both a Red Sox and a Yankees fan, right? I would go to Red Sox games. I would go to Yankee games. And so it was very difficult because, like, when you're 4, 5, 6, 7, like, oh my God, you're just like a cute little kid and you can kind of do what you want.
Right.
But it reaches a point where when you're living in the area that, if you're living in the East Coast, you can't be both. So
it's true. This is true.
You got to pick one eventually. And the timing of it was perfect for me to pick the Red Sox because the Red Sox had won in 2004. Then they won again in 2007. And once they won in 2007, I was just like, you know what? I'm a Red Sox fan, locking it in. But I will say that the Yankees will forever have like a special place in my heart. And I would say that I know more about Yankees history and like I feel attached to the fandom more so than a lot of Yankee fans do. But I'm not a Yankee fan per se. Like I do watch a lot of Yankee games with my dad. Like I hate them and love them at the same time. It's a very complicated relationship with me and the Yankees, but yeah.
I would think so, especially being a Red Sox fan. So again, coming from 2018, I was not aware that like Red Sox and Yankees, that was the whole rivalry. And I asked my husband and he's like, it just is. Well, but why? Like that doesn't make any sense to me. He's like, that's the rivalry. And the last few years, I haven't really kind of seen that rivalry, and I don't know if it's just because the Astros are the Yankees' daddy, or if it's, if it's just because, in my head, I'm like, I don't even understand the rivalry to begin with. So who told me? Oh, the VSN guys were telling me that the Cubs and the Cardinals were a rivalry. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Why is that a thing? And they're like, how did you know that was not a thing? I'm like, I don't know. Apparently, because I'm an idiot and this is what I do for baseball. I don't know. So, so what happens when the Red Sox play the Yankees? Are you Red Sox all the way then, or what?
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I'm chirping my dad. That's actually like one thing that's almost strengthened our relationship a little bit, is like how much we go back and forth with Red Sox Yankees. I'm always giving him shit, like dropping comments, but at the same time, I'm just a genuine baseball fan, and like I give my analysis to him, like the Yankees did this, the Yankees did that, like that's great. Like we talk Yankees, and I watch a lot of Yankees. I go to a lot of Yankee games, right? I'm living in New Jersey. I work in the city. So buying a $15 bleacher ticket after a day of work is like super doable. But I also am a guy that will go to Red Sox Yankee games in the bleachers, wear my Red Sox stuff, and like I'm getting stuff thrown at me, but it's like it is great. Like the last time I went to a Red Sox Yankee game at Yankee Stadium, though, I felt like it was a little soft. Like Yankee fans have softened up a little bit too much.
Really? Okay. All right. We're gonna clip just that portion, Colby, and we'll put that on. We'll put that on the social medias and see.
Well, yeah, I mean they built this like $1 billion stadium, and you can get your 5-star meal at the game, and like it's just lost its grit. Like Suzy, I wish you could go back in time and go to the old Yankee Stadium, because the old Yankee Stadium was so full of history. Like you walked in there and you could just feel like it felt like Fenway does. It felt like Wrigley does. And the new stadium just does not feel like that. And I've heard this from a lot of Yankee fans, that it's just like this big concrete blob that doesn't have any character to it. And it's kind of sad.
Okay. That is one of my goals in life, is to get to Wrigley and to get to Fenway. Just to, I guess, feel that history and that environment. I probably would be wearing Astros colors in Wrigley Field, maybe not so much at Fenway. I don't know. Depends on who I go with. Depends on who I go with. We'll be honest.
I was at game, I believe it was game 3 of the ALCS in 2021, Red Sox Astros. And I remember Kyle Schwarber hitting the grand slam, and we beat you guys like 12-3 in that game or something. And I have a video of myself screaming, "We're going to the World Series. We're going to go to the World Series." And then the Red Sox lose 3 straight. Oh,
yeah.
But I don't think that there's as much bad blood with Red Sox fans to Astros fans.
No.
As there is with Yankee fans to Astros fans. Like going to Yankee Stadium, I was actually at Astros Yankees in the playoffs, and like there was some bad blood there for sure. I think it was maybe more bad blood than there is towards Red Sox fans right now.
Right? Okay. See, So I'm not the only person that thinks that. So I'm in a lot of Twitter spaces with Yankee fans and Red Sox fans and whatnot. And my Yankee fan friends were like, no, like you would be totally fine coming to Yankee Stadium in Astros orange. Well, would I though? Like
you would be fine.
I'm like would I really? And they're like, yes. And I was like, there's a significant pause before you said yes. Like, I don't know if I believe y'all.
You might have to endure some like cheesy trash can jokes, but like, come on.
But I mean, we don't have enough time to dissect all of the things on the show right now. But so Colby, we're gonna steer the conversation back to the fantasy baseball, because that's what the whole show is about. So give me, Colby, your sleeper pitcher pick? And if it's not Hunter Green, what are you even doing? No, I'm just kidding. That was for Clay, and I'm gonna have to clip that like for Clay. But
maybe you can use like, have you been seeing these AI like generated podcast clips? Like AI is getting so good now that they can generate like anything. So we can like get Clay to do that via AI. We can get him to say whatever we want, and it's like Clay's our little puppet now.
You'll have to show me that, Cole, because I apparently am too old to understand all of that fun stuff. So you'll have to show me that, because that will be hysterical if we could get Clay to appreciate.
But yeah, no. So I mean, it's a good question, because I actually went on the Just Baseball show last week, and we did a little pitcher preview for fantasy baseball, and we talked through a lot of guys, but I'll give my deep sleeper on here. It's probably someone that, I don't know if you've heard about. I don't think it's a person that like a lot of people have heard about. Someone that kind of went under the radar last year. It's Hayden Wesneski on the Chicago Cubs.
Okay.
He was traded for Scott Efros last year, and he pitched really, really damn well last year. So with the Yankees, he threw 90 innings, 3.51 ERA. Then he went to the Cubs, and struggled a little bit in the minor leagues to start, but struck out 10 per 9, and he has this nasty slider. He throws pretty dang hard, and he gets a lot of ground balls. So then he gets called up at the end of the year. He made 4 starts, struck out 9 per inning, walked less than 2 per 9, and had a 2.18 ERA. So this is a guy that my deep sleeper last year was Christian Javier before the season. So kind of from the same mold where, Christian Javier last year was a guy that we weren't sure if he was going to make the rotation. But I knew that Christian Javier had the talent to perform well in the rotation. So I was like, you know what? Somebody's going to get hurt at some point. He's going to get a chance. And talent always, will outweigh, like people that don't have the talent, right? He's going to get a chance. And so I don't think Wesneski is on Christian Javier's level, but he is from that same mold where this is kind of a guy that is in that swingman role where, he could be a reliever if he doesn't get the opportunity to start. But the Cubs have a lot of injuries right now in their rotation, and Wesneski's nasty. Like, he should be in the rotation on opening day. And it's also a guy that, with these young pitchers, like giving Hunter Green as an example, it's a guy you're worried about throwing 170 innings. Like, I don't think that he's going to get there, but Wesneski threw 140 innings last year. So like, I think he could go up to 165, 170 this year, which is another intriguing thing. And he's being taken like ADP 350. Like, people in your league are not even thinking about Hayden Wesneski, but I'm telling you, you need to take him.
Interesting. Okay, so Hayden Wesneski, I will put him on my radar. Shout out to you, Colby, for recognizing Christian Javier's amazingness. And I always like giving shade to Peter because of his like worst take of his entire.
Well, so last year, the funny thing is, Suzy, is Peter and I were doing fantasy baseball coverage on not gambling advice at the time.
Right.
But we've transitioned to having our own like entire fantasy baseball show. But I remember Peter giving me like, "Oh yeah, Christian Javier, I don't know." I was like, "Dude, what are you talking about?"
How did he? I can't remember how he reacted when Christian Javier started that no-hitter against the Yankees.
We have a Just Baseball chat, and like the chat that day, I was giving him so much crap. Like almost every inning, it was something new, and yeah, because there was a quote actually. I don't know if I think it was from the Just Baseball show, and he goes, "Oh yeah, Christian Javier, I just don't trust the fastball."
That's precious. I love it. I love it so much. I do.
And like every fastball was letter high, and nobody could touch it.
Not a one. Not a one. And I almost enjoy that no-hitter against the Yankees more so than I do against the Phillies in the World Series. Like that's how much the Yankee rivalry apparently holds in my heart. Like it's that much sweeter to me. And it shouldn't because he threw a no-hitter or a combo no-hitter in the World Series. Like that obviously means more. But against the Yankees, I feel like that means just that much more.
It definitely does. It definitely does. I mean,
right.
Suzy, how many stadiums have you been to? I know I'm going off topic from fantasy, but I'm just curious.
Two since I've cared about baseball. 3
Okay.
when I didn't care.
Minute Maid and where?
So I obviously Minute Maid. I've been to Minute Maid Light, which is what I refer to as the Rangers Stadium. And then I forever ago, like literally forever ago, I went to a Minnesota Twins game and sat in the outfield.
At Target Field?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
it was.
cool.
I think it was at Target Field. And the only reason I went was because I was told that there were mini donuts and I got to stare at guys in baseball pants. So do with that information what you will, but
right,
like I said, it was years ago when I did not appreciate the baseballs.
You're setting me up here, Suzy. Give me your biggest crush on the Astros.
On the Astros? Oh, easy. Easy. Jeremy Pena, 1,000%.
Jeremy Pena. Ooh, okay.
1,000%. Yes.
He's a stud. I mean, like the shirtless pictures of Jeremy Pena.
Yes. And I'm like, I'm a 40-year-old woman, and so I feel kind of creepy, like, saying that about Jeremy Pena, but he's, like, 27, so I don't feel that bad. But, yeah, like, Jeremy Pena, 1,000%, all day, every day.
No, I don't think he's 27. I think he's 25. So does that mean, are you going to go the Leo route where, like, he turns 26 and you're going to dump him?
No. No, Jeremy Pena is the heartthrob. Are you sure oh God, now I feel even worse. Thanks, Colby. Appreciate you on that one. Super, so good. Now I feel even more like a creepy old woman. That's all right though. That's okay. We love that for me. But yeah, no, Jeremy Pena, 1,000%. Like, don't get me wrong, Kyle Tucker, he is my king forever. I love him.
Strong hands, rough hands, but they're strong.
Yes. He's just my favorite player. Like I don't want to do things with Kyle Tucker. So yeah. So.
Oh man, I love it. Absolutely.
What about you, Colby? Who's your favorite Red Sox?
Oh man, I mean, it's got to be Rafi. It's got to be Rafi because he's just a clown. Like, he does stuff every single game that makes you laugh. Like, the way he plays baseball is just like a little kid playing baseball. It almost looks like he's like giggling out there. And he also has the biggest wad of tobacco I've ever seen in his mouth at all times. Like, it is a bowling ball in his cheek, and it's unbelievable. And he spits this just like poisonous, dark spit, and it's disgusting, but it's something special for sure. But yeah, my other favorites, like, I love Verdugo. I think Verdugo is a ton of fun. Like, that's what I'm excited for with this Red Sox team this year. Like, there's been a lot of reports coming out lately about how the clubhouse turned upside down last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was like there was definitely an effort from Heim this offseason and from Alex Cora to kind of change that, like bringing in Justin Turner, like letting some guys go that I think were impacting the clubhouse. How do
you feel about that Xander move?
I don't think that the organization and Xander were aligned for the last year plus.
It's a very diplomatic answer, Colby.
In terms of how they valued him, it was not the right situation for both, I don't think. It's obviously sad losing a player like that, but I also don't know if I don't think it was ever really realistic that he was going to stay, right? Like, the Red Sox were not going to go to the lengths that the Padres went, but even if he did sign that extension before last spring training that was talked about,
right?
I question if that was ever reality. Like, your agent is Scott Boras, who is known for squeaking every last dime out of a contract. Like, would he actually have let Xander sign, a team-friendly extension? Maybe. But I think that for the future of the Red Sox, I don't think it's a bad move. Like, I think that by 2025, the Red Sox are going to be in a really good position. Financially, they have a really deep farm system offensively. We don't have any pitching down there, which is the one concern. But you just hope you find some pitching, right? You can sign some pitchers. Maybe you get one or two draft picks that hit. But offensively, we're going to be looking really, really solid.
Interesting. So we're gonna end with this because I know it's you also probably need to go, Colby. Thoughts about Tristan Casas's nail colors?
Yes. Absolutely love it. I love weirdness. I think weirdness is a great way to have a good clubhouse, right? You need quirky guys, like not overly quirky, not like quirky in the way that like the attention is all about them, but like just quirky where guys have their little thing that they're superstitions or whatnot. But I think Casas is definitely falls in the quirky category as a player. Like, I don't know if you remember last year when he made his MLB debut, he was in before the game warming up in right field, doing his stretching, like shirt off, like
shoeless as well, right?
Shoeless, like just kind of like, it's your MLB debut and you're acting like you've been up in the bigs for years, which I love. Like, come up there and be you. That's right. That's the most important thing, I think, for a clubhouse or just anybody in general. Like, be yourself. And I think Casas is that. So if he wants to paint his nails red, like, all the power to you, man. Right. All the power to you.
And for our listeners that maybe aren't, I don't know, up on the news for the Red Sox, there was a picture that was posted on Twitter by, I want to say one of the Red Sox beat reporters or whatnot, of Tristan Casas' fingernails and toenails. And his fingernails were painted red with like sparkles on it or something like that. I don't know if they were
fingers had different designs. Yeah.
I don't know if they were like press-on nails or if they were actually painted or whatnot, and his like toenails were painted like white or something. And my Twitter was blowing up with various reactions to this, and it cracked me up that a lot of the reactions I saw were from guys who were not particularly happy with said painted fingernails. And I did not have enough time in the day to respond to all of these people, to ask, how they felt about their catchers with painted fingernails, because essentially it's the same fucking thing. So
did Casas give a reason? Like, that was the funniest part too, is like, I didn't see a reason. So. It was just like, here's my nails.
Right? Like, I was just mad that his nail beds and his cuticles were more manicured than mine. I'm like, how do you do that? Like, you are literally using your hands all day, every day. What's going on there? Like, tell me your secrets, Tristan.
Kyle Tucker, I guarantee, does not have well manicured paws.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was a little interesting tidbit on that. So if you're interested in Tristan Casas's nails and what they look like, go search for that on Twitter. I'm sure you guys can find it. But Colby, I appreciate you coming on the show and hanging out with us today. Please, we are going to end the show, so go ahead and let people know where they can find you on all the social medias.
Sure thing, yeah. So definitely follow all the Just Baseball media accounts. If you search Just Baseball, you can pretty much find any of our accounts anywhere, as well as on, Apple or Spotify. If you search Just Baseball, you can find all of our shows. Follow me, Colby_Olson3 on Twitter, or really just about any social media. That's my tag. So but yeah, I would love if you guys took a listen to the Just Fantasy Baseball show. Like I said, we're just going to be breaking down literally every player that is going to have fantasy value this year. It will be talked about at some point on this show. So take a listen. Catcher, first base, second base, and shortstop rankings are already out. We're going to be doing third base this next week, and then on to outfielders and pitchers. So yeah, you're not going to want to miss it. And it's just so nice hearing balls hitting mitts.
That That it is. Again, we will put all of the information for Colby and the show in our show notes so that you guys can find Colby and Clay, who had to exit a little earlier today. But if you are in any of my fantasy drafts, just kidding, the fantasy baseball show doesn't exist. Okay, like don't go and try and find it. It doesn't exist for y'all. Okay, only for those that are not in my fantasy leagues. Can you guys go listen to this? So, again, Colby, we appreciate you coming on the show. We thank you for taking the time out and explaining the deep sleeper of Hayden Wisniewski. I think I said it correct. It is, especially when you've had a Bloody Mary or two. We won't talk about that, though. So, again, Clay, we appreciate you. Again, we will link all of the information in the show notes so that you guys can find it easily. And with that, we are going to wrap the show and say, yay, baseball. So, thanks, Colby. Have a great day.
Thank you.